Have you ever wondered how a secretary turned $180 into $7 million? Let's unravel this enigma. It's all about compound interest, an elusive force with the power to transform small amounts into vast fortunes. Picture this. In 1994, a humble secretary named Grace Groner invested a mere $180 in 3 shares of stock. She lived modestly, wore donated clothes, and never married. Yet, when she passed away in 2010 at the ripe age of 100, she left behind a staggering $7 million. How? She held onto those shares for 75 years, allowing the magic of compound interest to work its wonders. That $180 didn't just grow, it multiplied again and again. This, my friends, is the magic of compound interest, and almost nobody understands how it actually works. Now, let's delve into the real numbers at a 10% annual return. Let's imagine you've invested $10,000 today. Without adding a penny more, after 10 years, that sum balloons to a little over $25,000. Fast forward another decade, and your initial investment has now grown to over $67,000. And here's where things get truly exciting. After 30 years, that $10,000, through the magic of compound interest, has morphed into a staggering $174,000. That's right, you put in $10,000, did nothing else, and ended up with $174,000. But what if you could add just a little more to that initial investment? Let's say you managed to add $200 a month on top of your $10,000 start. After 30 years, you're looking at a whopping $469,000. Extend that to 40 years, and you're a millionaire with over $1.2 million in your account. By simply starting early and staying consistent, ordinary people can become millionaires. It's not about earning more or taking huge risks, but rather about understanding the power of compound interest and utilizing it to your advantage. This brings us to the most crucial point. The single most important variable in this equation is time. Starting 10 years earlier can make a more significant impact than doubling your monthly contribution. That's right, time is more valuable than money when it comes to compound interest. So, whether you're a secretary, like Grace Groner, a student, a professional, or a retiree, remember this. Compound interest is your ticket to financial freedom. It's a slow and steady race, but the rewards are worth the wait. By starting early and staying consistent, ordinary people can become millionaires. The single most important variable is time. However, there are 3 common mistakes that can destroy the growth of compound interest. First, let's talk about the error of starting late and compensating with risk. It's a common misconception that if you start investing later in life, you can make up for lost time by taking bigger risks. But the math tells a different story. The power of compound interest rewards consistency, not big bets. So, while it's never too late to start, the earlier you begin, the better. Secondly, the pitfall of withdrawing early. Imagine you've invested $10,000 at the age of 40 and decide to pull it out just 5 years later. You might think it's only cost you $10,000, right? Wrong. By removing that money prematurely, you've robbed it of the chance to grow. If left untouched until the age of 70, that $10,000 could have grown to a whopping $67,000. That's the potential cost of withdrawing early. Finally, and perhaps most crucially, is the mistake of ignoring compound interest on debt. It's easy to focus on the positive side of compound interest, like watching your investments grow, but it's equally important to remember that compound interest can work against you when it comes to debt. Let's take credit card debt as an example. With an average interest rate of around 20%, your debt can snowball quickly if left unpaid. Just as compound interest can turn a small investment into a fortune, it can also turn a manageable debt into a financial nightmare. Remember, credit card debt at 20% compounds against you just as powerfully as investments compound for you. So, while it's important to invest and let your money grow, it's equally crucial to manage your debts and avoid letting them spiral out of control. By understanding the pitfalls of ignoring compound interest, you can make informed decisions and take steps towards a financially secure future. So, what can you do today to start benefiting from compound interest? It's simple, really. Begin by opening your brokerage app. It doesn't matter which one you use, just make sure it's an app that you trust and find easy to navigate. Once you're in, search for VOO. And that's the ticker symbol for the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, a fund that aims to track the performance of the S&P 500 index. Now, why VOO? Well, this ETF is a low-cost way to gain exposure to a broad swath of the US stock market, which over the long term has historically shown a tendency to rise. Buying just one share of VOO is a simple yet powerful first step towards harnessing the magic of compound interest. But remember, compound interest isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a get-rich-slowly strategy. It requires patience, discipline, and most importantly, time. The longer you let your investments grow, the more significant the compounding effect becomes. So once you've bought that share of VOO, don't be in a rush to sell it. Let it sit, let it grow, let compound interest do its silent yet powerful work. And while you're at it, don't stop at just one share. Consistency is key. Try to invest a certain amount each month, regardless of what the market is doing. This practice, known as dollar cost averaging, can help reduce the impact of volatility on your investment and can result in a higher long-term return. Just imagine, if Grace Groner's modest investment of $180 could grow into $7 million, think of what your investments could do over time. It's not about how much you invest, but rather how long you stay invested. Imagine, what would you do with an extra $1 million at retirement? Drop your answer below. I read every single comment. Remember to subscribe for a new finance video every Monday.